reading for you about someone who's starting to feel like they're trapped or they need some more space to themselves, or maybe someone's getting to know them a little bit too well. So they feel like the best thing for them to do is to walk away or to go ghost, because inevitably there's going to be expectations or obligations, and they don't seem to want to deal with any of those like promises or commitments. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Let's start off with, we'll go with the Noisy Tarot and see what else we've got for you. Eight of Wands, Two of Pentacles in the reverse, Ace of Swords in the reverse. This feels to me like an ultimatum, or someone saying, okay, I think it's probably time that we have like the talk. We need to figure out what we are, or what can I count on you for? What are your intentions? And this makes them very uncomfortable. This is like, intentions? I don't want to talk about intentions. I don't like that question. So they might postpone or procrastinate or delay talking or seeing you, but they don't want to talk about it at all. The World, Six of Wands in the reverse, and the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I think this is a person who feels like the more you get to know them, the more likely it is that you would leave them, or that you would see that they're really not that great. So they feel like they have to keep people at a distance in order to keep them interested. Otherwise, Six of Wands in the reverse, they won't, you know, get what they want. So they have some insecurity that is probably masked, or like you would interpret it or see it as arrogance. Hey Hunter, no worries. I'm still gonna have a delightful day, and I hope you do too. Hello, I don't know how to read your name, but welcome. What else do we have? Eight of Wands, Three of Cups, and the Seven of Cups. They like to keep some mystery. They like to keep some questions unanswered. They always run away from those really serious conversations or questions. They'd rather make a joke or sing karaoke than actually have to tell stories about who they are, or talk about what they want, or what maybe hasn't really worked out for them. They don't like people to know the vulnerable side of them. That's okay, Jackie. We've got Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, and the King of Swords with Justice. Yeah, over independence, keeping everybody at like an arm's length or further, being very analytical or logical, even a little bit heartless, some might say. They're not interested in having that emotional connection because it's too much of a risk. They feel like they have to keep things kind of superficial or short term because there's less risk that way. So they probably have some insecurity paired with a fear of loss or a fear of abandonment. Five of Pentacles in the reverse. You can't leave me if I leave you first. You can't cause me trouble or like break my heart if I decide before you do that this isn't gonna work, right? All right, so this is the Fairy Lenormand. What else do we have? Hello, Rosie. Yes, it is. I hope you're having a good day. We have the Lily, which is number 30. This talks about peace and serenity, happiness. And then we have the Moon, which is number 32. It's almost like they can't quite believe that they would be able to find someone who would appreciate or love them for who they are. They struggle to imagine a relationship where things would be healthy or where they would be valued or allowed to be their individual self, right? Hello, Dina. How are you doing? Hello, Great One. How are you? Number 36, the Cross. This can talk about ego death, spiritual awakening, a change in perception or perspective. So to be in this relationship, they would have to let go of some of this ego, let go of some of this fear, and address some of the heartaches that they have not really done anything with. We have the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Notice it's somebody who's got like a flashlight, kind of like looking at someone. I think there is an attempt to keep other people from knowing who they really are, as well as maybe even a little bit of like a, I don't know if they've got very much self-awareness. I don't know if they know themselves, right? Knight of Cups in the reverse, Knight of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. So I don't invest too much in the connections that I pursue. This would be someone who's like, I'm just interested in situationships, or I'm just interested in like bragging rights, or, you know, I don't want to stick around for too long because then people get expectations or people start, you know, asking you to do things for them. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Hello, Eric. That's not welcome here, so if you could keep that to a minimum, that would be great. Oh, it's Taco Tuesday. I totally forgot that. Why did you have to talk about burrito? Now I want it. It's horrible. Thankfully, I don't have too far to travel if I want some good Mexican food. Three of Cups is followed by the Seven of Wands in the reverse, the Lovers in the reverse, and the Emperor. So I'm fine with like celebratory time or going to birthday parties or going on vacation. I'm fine with partying and, you know, having a good time. But if you want me to be vulnerable, that's where I draw the line. I don't want you to ask me questions about who I am or what I want or what's happened to me in the past to make me who I am. None of that like soulmate stuff. I just want to be me on my own and like have a good reputation. So they might be a little bit too focused on how other people see them and like what kind of reputation they have. Hello, my Pizzi, how are you doing? Hello, Jessica. How are you doing? Oh, thank you. We've got the Eight of Swords. Wow, and the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So they are starting to realize that their efforts to keep heartache at bay or not let anybody really get to know them, it's not really working the way that they thought it would. It's kind of like when you feel like you have like a watertight situation, like you've protected your phone on a canoe trip, but then it actually has a leak in it. This person's a little bit frustrated or confused because for whatever reason, they are struggling to do the ghosting, perhaps struggling to walk away. I'm so glad you're in the chariots. What's up, Steph? Hello, Steve. How are you? We've got the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse and the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, Queen of Swords. So even though I'm avoiding a relationship, even though I don't want there to be any risk of like being abandoned or someone walking away from me first, there's still all of this risk that seems to be happening. Aw, that's so sweet of you. Thank you, Steph. Hello, Shreya. Aw, that's so kind of you. Hello, Sierra. I hope that's how you say your name. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Curtis. What's going on? Ace of Pentacles and the 7 of Cups in the reverse. I didn't expect to like you as much as I do. I didn't expect to become as attached to you as I have. I didn't expect you to be so adept at seeing who I am, even though I'm doing everything I can to hide myself from you. Maybe we'll see you come through as the High Priestess, but I see you having a very strong sense of intuition as well as a strong sense of self. And I feel like those two are related. You know yourself very well. You've been through a decent amount that has taught you about not just yourself, but like life in general. I feel like that helps you see what's going on with this person in a way that they can't quite understand. Aw, thank you. Hello, Ashley. How's it going? We've got the Page of Cups, another 8 of Swords. This is the Morgan Greer, by the way. The 2 of Cups and the Hierophant. So we go from not having any interest in a long-term relationship. I'm not going to be making like romantic comments to you. I'm not going to be like writing you music or poems or anything like that. I view that like committed relationship as a bit of a trap or something that keeps me away from the life that I want to be able to live. And yet now we've got this 2 of Cups and the Hierophant. Now I'm second guessing this. Now I'm looking at the connection that I have with you and I'm wondering how I could enjoy letting go of that when I'm really enamored of you. They don't really know how to deal with the emotions that they're feeling. Remember we had Lovers in the reverse. Now we have Lovers in the upright. I would show you, but there's like no clothes involved and YouTube seems to have a problem with that. Maybe I should I just do like a stick person tarot? That would be kind of funny, I think. So we have the Lovers and the 2 of Swords in the reverse, which means they've made a decision. I've been a player or I've been non-committal. I didn't want anybody to get close to me or anyone to really know me. And then I met you. And then I missed that opportunity to ghost and save myself from getting too dependent on this connection. And now they are. Now they are struggling. And they're not sure how to actually be in a loyal relationship. I don't feel like they have a lot of experience with that. All they know is that they've actually fallen in love with someone. This Strength card is talking about like winning someone over or taming someone. The example that's coming to my mind is Alex and, oh, I don't remember his name, from 1923. You know, the like lion hunter. Hello, Nana, how are you doing? Hello, Coda. Hello, Curtis. Hello, Rabia. What's up, James? How are you doing? Hey, Daniel, I'm going to delete your comment because it doesn't really matter. But I'm not going to put you in a timeout because I believe in you. I bet you got better things to say, right? Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and the Fool. Maybe it took a while for me to run into somebody who could actually get me interested in a long-term relationship. Maybe I thought the only thing that really mattered was finding people that were attractive or traveling around, being a little bit of a garden tool. But the crazy thing is, I've actually like fallen in love. I'm feeling these new feelings. I didn't know I had them, but I do. They're like not really sure what to do with these feelings that they're feeling. Nine of Cups in the reverse, Five of Wands. They are fighting with themselves and possibly with somebody else. Because let's be real, this is probably someone who has a friendship group, and it could be, you know, any gender, does not have to be a man. But I bet they have like a sibling or a friendship group that kind of supports this non-committal energy. And so they're conflicted, right? If I make this choice, if I pursue something serious, I know that there's gonna be some people who are upset with me or some questioning of it. Maybe even people who feel like I can't do it, right? Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Ace of Rods or the Ace of Wands. All right, so maybe instead of just like willfully walking away from something that I want, maybe instead of purposefully fumbling, I could actually see what happens. Maybe I could actually like pursue a serious relationship and maybe I would actually like it. I don't know. That sounds crazy. This is the tarot of the cat people. Thank you, Lee. I got you. That's what you do with feelings, James? Sounds like a good way to save money. So we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Magician. Okay. This is like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I have this determination to do it right. Have you ever seen someone who is dancing in the middle of a club who didn't know how to dance, but like they obviously thought that they did know how to dance? You know, that kind of confidence you can't buy anywhere. I feel like that's what this person has. And I don't know if it's based in reality or if it's just like, I'm gonna have to pretend that everything is gonna go exactly the way I want it to, because if I don't pretend that, then my confidence isn't going to be where it needs to be. Queen of Cups, lovey-dovey energy, Five of Swords. They're so worried. I want to offer you my cup of love. I want to be like, you know, cozying up to you, but I'm nervous because all I ever do is ruin this. I've never actually tried to make it work. I've never actually treated somebody like, you know, a boyfriend or a girlfriend before. We have the Fool in the reverse, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Cups in the reverse. I'm used to putting on those tennis shoes and running away. What was that movie? I think it was Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts. It's like that. I don't remember anything from the movie. I just know that she wore tennis shoes and she had like a wedding dress on in the front of the movie, or in the like cover. This is someone who's like, what happens when it goes well? I don't know what, like, is there a montage? What happens? Do I get like an award? Hello, Andy. How are you doing? Hello, Mavis. Hello, Sania. What's going on? We have the Page of Swords in the reverse, The Six of Cups in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles. Ten of Wands in the reverse. They get a little talking to, they get into an argument, they got a best friend or they got a sibling, somebody who they normally run around town with, and this person's like, where have you been? What are you getting into? Why don't you hang out with me anymore? Why aren't you my wingman anymore? What's going on? Why are you acting all weird? And this person's like, gosh, how do I tell you this? You know how we like make fun of everybody for getting into long-term relationships and joke about how that would never be us? And it turns out that I was wrong, and actually I might have fallen in love with someone. And they're like scared. They feel like this friend of theirs is gonna be like, I don't know, like hitting them. They're like not sure what's going to happen. Six of Pentacles, Ace of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Wands. But why would you do that? Why would you get into a relationship? This argument is hilarious to me because it's just like, I don't understand. If you could have a bunch instead of one, why wouldn't you want more? Isn't more of a thing always better? No. Do you want more bills? No. Do you want more litter boxes to clean? No, I don't think I want that either. Do you want more obnoxious sounds in your neighborhood? You can interpret that however you want. No, more is not always a good thing. Quality, quantity. This is the argument that's being had by these two people. They're like, but there's like all those people out there that you could like get with and stuff. And this person's like, how do I explain to them that sometimes quality is where it's at? You know? I just don't know if you're ever gonna get it. And they're like, no, that's what I'm talking about. Getting it. What was that conversation in Dude, Where's My Car? That's what mine said. What does mine say? Sweet. Dude. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't make fun of these people having a conversation too much, but the general idea is I thought you were going to be like avoiding the serious relationships because I'm avoiding those serious relationships. I thought we were going to be like, you know, hanging out, partying, having a good old time. Maybe they're specifically referencing an event like my birthday party's coming up and you're going to be in a relationship? Like that ruins my birthday. How could you do that on the day of my birth? There's all of this pressure telling this person we expect you to be independent, single, not tied up in a relationship, and look at you go and fall in love with somebody right before my birthday party. How dare you? Yeah. This person's like, maybe I don't want to go party. Maybe I don't want to be hanging out with you all anymore, right? Maybe I'm a little bit over it. Maybe I've matured beyond that, you know? Have you ever gone back and watched Dude, Where's My Car? It is awful. Just awful. I think it was like maybe like 4 years ago I rewatched it. I don't know when it's from. Probably like 2004 or something would be my guess. No, it's probably earlier than that. Anyways, horrible, horrible effects. And then there's the acting. Sorry, guys. How's it going, Zeus? I hope you're having a good day. So we have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, the Two of Cups in the reverse, and the King of Pentacles. I think this is somebody who has a falling out. Like, obviously they're arguing. Obviously there's this back and forth, right? With a friend or maybe even a group of friends. I feel like there's a falling out. It's like, well, you don't want to be my friend because I don't want to go out to the bars anymore. Then what's our friendship really based on? You know? Like, it doesn't sound like you would miss me as long as you have someone else that wants to be drinking next to you, right? Hello, Cash. How are you doing? Aw, that's not very nice. If you want to come back in with some positive energy, you're welcome back. Otherwise, don't worry. I'm sure there's other places in YouTube land for you. Hello, Sonic. At least that's like checking out with your username. But we're looking for some maturity in the live chat here, so I believe in you. King of Pentacles is followed by the Ace of Swords in the reverse and the Two of Swords. I know this isn't what you want to hear. I know that you think you know who I am, or I know you want me to continue to make bad decisions with you, but I've made my choice. And if you don't want to be my friend anymore, then I guess that's how it is. But I want to actually invest my time into something that matters instead of just like being so wasteful all the time, right? Hello, boys. How you doing? We've got the Three of Cups, Justice in the reverse, Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. That is not awesome. Unfortunately, it would appear that this best friend or friend group is feeling threatened by this love relationship that is breaking up their friend group. So it's like, okay, what can we do to cause this love interest of our buddies to no longer be interested? Maybe we can create some drama so our friend chooses us over them again. Bad idea. Very bad idea. Hello, Rudolph. How are you doing? Seven of Swords in the reverse. The Moon. Three of Wands in the reverse. So these quote-unquote friends, or perhaps it's the best friend, they come up with a plan. They come up with a strategy. And this strategy is to hide someone. I'm not joking when I say I'm literally picking up on someone who's like, well, what if we just like don't let our buddy like go home? What if we don't let her go hang out with that dude anymore? What if we, you know, kind of like just don't let them leave? Well, I don't know if that's legal, first of all. And then there's like, okay, well, what if we pass some information over to this romantic interest to make it seem like it would just be completely foolish for anybody to try to date this person? What if we just make them look really, really bad? Three of Wands in the reverse. Make it so the other person's not interested in taking any action towards this love interest. And I think that's where they settle. I think that's where they're like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds great. We've got plenty of dirt on this person. They're like our best friend. We know like everything that they've done. I'm glad to hear that, Curtis. Hey, Luca, I hope you find good stuff elsewhere in your life. But, yeah. It's not good to hear. Situations deck, we've got the Pretending card, Fake Living Beyond Means, Drama Queen, Denial. Okay, so there could be another motivating factor here. This best friend or group of friends that don't want to see this individual fall in love or be in a serious relationship could feel like their lifestyle is threatened, not just because a buddy maybe isn't going to be like a wingman or isn't going to like join them on adventures anymore, but maybe this person's going to move out and then I can't afford to stay where I'm at. So we have some denial or some not really looking at what the real problem is. And throwing a big temper tantrum or causing a lot of problems because of multiple things they feel would change if this person really gets into a long-term relationship. That's funny, James. Yep, that's what I'm saying. If you move out, then my life gets more difficult. If you move out, then I have to find money that I don't have, or I have to find a new place because you're over here thinking about getting married, or you're gonna, you know, want to live with your person. So they don't want this relationship to happen for money reasons, for financial reasons. This is What's the News? What else? Memories. Missing someone, regression, and revisiting. Oh, revisiting the past. And then we have knocked up, pregnancy, expecting, and mothering. Oh, we going from 0 to 60. Are we? Okay, okay. I don't want a relationship. I don't want any responsibility, and I don't want anybody to expect anything from me. What's that? Start a family? That sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. Sorry, guys. We need to take family planning seriously, right? This is somebody who's probably seeing that they want a different path, but their friends and family are struggling because they were so certain that this was someone who didn't want all of that, that this was somebody who was avoiding relationships, or wanted to be independent, or wanted to focus on their career, and it doesn't look like it's going that way, you know? Paranoid, cautious, insecure, guarded, high vibin, and time. Delay, procrastination, too busy. I don't want you to be in this serious relationship because there are like things that you do that make my life easier. If you get into this relationship, if you give all your time to someone else, if you move out of our shared apartment or whatever it is, then my lifestyle gets affected. So I've got to be able to do something to put this relationship in a precarious spot so that my buddy doesn't leave, so that my life doesn't have to change. Hello, Jiggle. How are you? Hello, Willow. What's up? So I'll pull a few more cards, and then I'm going to start with the personal question for Lee. We've got Eerie Graveyard, Mask, and Mystic Swamp. Okay. As life transcends and we all fall into a silent embrace, the old attachments die, finding closure and grace. Maybe this was the right time to walk away from this friendship group. Maybe these aren't really friends. I mean, if they are thinking about their financial situation and feel that that's more important than whether or not their friend is happy in a romantic relationship, that's a little questionable, right? That's a little not great. And then we have the Mask card, which talks about duality, protection, and caution. So perhaps it's time to get out of this group. Perhaps it's time to move away from this community, and this love, this relationship that they find ends up helping them avoid more of a loss, or some sort of maybe even loss of identity, because they're becoming more like these other individuals that in reality, it's not really who they are. Deep, dark waters, your reflection you can't see. You won't find yourself if you don't go deep. So because they've been so focused on these superficial connections, whether they were friendships or romantic relationships, they don't have a very strong sense of self. They don't have a lot of self-awareness, right? And for that reason, it's important that they get away from this friendship group, because it does seem to kind of erase your individuality, even as this person saw themselves as very individual or independent. All right, this is the Truth Is. Hello, Chaylee, how you doing? Oh, the things that I would say. Yes, exactly. Oh, I remember you. We ain't doing that tonight, hun. We got settling, accepting less than you deserve. Forgiveness. Forgiving will benefit this relationship. Interestingly, this settling card is about our, what am I calling you? Oh, dang, I don't think I've called you anything yet. King of Swords. This was the person who's like, you know, kept things a little bit like surface level, but they've fallen in love. This person has accepted less than they deserve because they were afraid to lose what they found. So those friendships or those relationships that they had, they were all things that they were okay with losing because that's the way that they approached life. Now they're realizing if they can let go of some of this hurt or frustration or resentment that they feel from their childhood or whoever got them to feel insecure or fear loss, that they're able to maybe have more meaningful connections and understand more about who they are and what they want. Fear of loss. And power couple. So this is why they're changing their ways. They see just how things could change for the better if they were to pursue this relationship. They don't want to miss out on this, even though it goes against like what's very normal or predictable for them. All right, let's get to Lee's question. What is it that Lee needs to be aware of? Hey, Dino, how are you doing? Hello, Amir. Hello, Rudolph. Hello, Charles. We have the King of Pentacles, sorry. The Sun, Two of Wands in the reverse, and the Emperor. So Lee, there's something here that is coming to light regarding finances and how things are being spent, or perhaps even how somebody has been irresponsible with those funds because the Two of Wands is in the reverse. That would generally mean that we have somebody who is not prepared or took the wrong course of action. But this is somebody who has to present this information or be honest about what happened to a person of power, the Emperor. And this person's been lying. I feel like this is something that came out yesterday. Making an offer that doesn't do justice to the situation, being selfish, being greedy. But this Emperor, probably the Judge, they see what's really going on. They're very perceptive. They're nobody's fool, right? So this Judge is gonna speak the truth. They're gonna say, hey, look, I think you're lying. Yeah, I think you're lying. I think you're lying because of money. So someone's gonna get called out for their financial reporting or efforts, right? All right. Hello, Laura. How are you doing? Hello, Brad. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm about to sign off. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I hope to see you on the next reading. Toodles.